You're lying in bed, phone in your hand. It's 12:47 a.m. A few nights ago, she was all in. Long voice notes, deep talks, that warm, effortless vibe that made you think, finally, this is going somewhere. Then today, nothing. Cold replies, maybe a reaction to your story, maybe silence. And now you're staring at the screen, trying to make sense of it. What changed? Did I come on too strong? Was she ever serious? Why does it feel real one second and fake the next? Why do I always end up here? Here's the truth most guys never hear. She's not confusing because you missed some perfect move. She's confusing because she wants the comfort of connection without the weight of commitment. You're not crazy. And no, man, this isn't about you being weak or broken. Most guys go through this, and nobody explains the psychology behind it. So in this video, you're going to learn the 4 signs an avoidant is using you, why it happens, what she actually feels underneath it, and how to protect your energy without becoming cold. Let's get into it. Most guys believe if an avoidant woman pulls away, the answer is to be more patient, more understanding, more available. But the real truth is deeper than that. When an avoidant starts using someone, it usually doesn't look evil. It looks unstable. It looks inconsistent. It looks almost real. Because she doesn't always pull close because she's ready for love. Sometimes she pulls close because she feels lonely. Because she needs reassurance. Because your grounded presence calms her nervous system for a moment. And that's the part most guys completely miss. She can genuinely enjoy you. She can genuinely feel drawn to you. She can even genuinely miss you. But if she hasn't faced her own patterns, she won't use closeness to build something real. She'll use closeness to regulate herself. That means the connection feels intense, but she will use this completely feel. That made her more partners, she won't use closeness. That means this connection feels intense, but have know a very well. That means the day one to return of real. That means the real who knows you she needs maybe way. That she can genuinely miss you. Then distant. Warm. Then weird. Effortless. Then heavy. Not because you imagined it. Not because you're asking for too much. Not because you just need to be more chill. But because her system wants the feeling of intimacy without the responsibility of intimacy. And when that happens, you stop dealing with romance. You start dealing with a loop. A loop where your presence becomes emotional caffeine for her brain. She reaches for it when she dips. She disappears when she feels full again. That's why this matters. Because if you don't understand the pattern, you'll call it chemistry. You'll call it potential. You'll call it bad timing. But here's what changes everything. Once you see these signs clearly, you stop personalizing the chaos. And that's when you get your power back. 1. She only reaches for you when she needs emotional relief. Here's the part nobody talks about. The first sign an avoidant is using you is that she comes toward you for comfort, not for consistency. Most guys see those sudden check-ins and think, she's coming around. They see the late night, "I miss talking to you" text and assume the bond is getting deeper. But the deeper truth is this: she's not always reaching for you. Sometimes she's reaching for what your energy does to her. Your calm steadies her. Your presence soothes her. Your attention gives her a hit of safety without demanding much in return. And for an avoidant, that can feel incredibly addictive. She feels anxious. She feels empty. She feels disconnected from herself. So she comes close, because your vibe regulates her. Then, as soon as she feels better, she fades. Not love, not devotion, not real investment, just relief. It's like using a blanket when you're cold, then tossing it aside when the room warms up. That's what makes this pattern hurt so much, bro. Because to you, the moment meant connection. To her, the moment meant regulation. You've probably seen it. She disappears for 4 days. Then suddenly, "Hey stranger, I've been thinking about you." Most guys light up instantly. They answer in 2 seconds. They pour warmth right back in and act like nothing happened. The grounded move is different. You don't punish. You don't chase. You don't pretend. You say something like, "Good to hear from you. I'm open to consistency, not on and off energy." That's not a trick. That's standards. That's what a real man sounds like when he stops volunteering to be emotional Uber Eats. And when you do that, she feels that your presence is no longer effortless access. 2. She gives you intensity, but never direction. And here's where it gets interesting. Avoidants are often very good at giving moments that feel intimate, while avoiding anything that makes the connection real. Most guys get hypnotized by intensity, the chemistry, the long eye contact, the vulnerable stories, the sex that feels deeper than sex. And they think, this has to mean something. But here's the truth. Intensity is not the same as intention. An avoidant can give you a night that feels cinematic. She can open up. She can cry in your arms. She can tell you things she's never told anybody, and still not be building with you, because moments are easier than meaning. Feelings are easier than structure. Closeness for a few hours is easier than showing up in a grounded, repeated, real way. This is the one most guys completely miss. She may give you access to her emotions, but never access to her actual life. You hear her pain, but you don't know where you stand. You feel chosen, but nothing is defined. Her inner world says, "I want the warmth without the weight." And if you're not careful, you'll mistake emotional fireworks for genuine commitment. It's a slot machine dynamic. Every once in a while, the machine hits. A perfect night, a deep kiss, a powerful conversation. And your brain goes, "See? It's real." That's why you stay. Because intermittent intensity is one of the most addictive experiences in dating. You'll hear it in the language. Wrong approach from you. "We talk every day. We're close. We've slept together. So what are we?" And she says, "Why do we need to label everything? Can't we just enjoy it?" Now, labels alone aren't the issue, but direction matters. Clarity matters. Reality matters. The right approach sounds like this. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for mutual. If this has no direction, I'm not staying emotionally invested. Most guys keep feeding the fantasy. You stop and read the pattern. And when you do that, she feels that you can't be kept alive on chemistry alone. 3. She makes your normal needs feel like pressure. But here's what changes everything. One of the clearest signs an avoidant is using you is that the second you ask for something healthy, she acts like you're asking for too much. Most guys get manipulated here without even realizing it. Not always by cruelty. Sometimes just by her conditioning. You ask for consistency. She calls it pressure. You ask where this is going. She says you're moving too fast. You ask for basic clarity. She suddenly needs space. And now you're the problem. At least that's how it feels. But psychologically, this makes perfect sense. A healthy request from you forces emotional reality. And emotional reality creates obligation. It creates expectation. It creates accountability. That's what triggers her. Her system hears your need and translates it into danger. Not because your need is wrong, but because closeness, responsibility, and emotional dependence all activate her fear. So instead of saying, "I'm scared," she says, "You're too much." That's the twist. Most guys start shrinking themselves to keep the peace. They become more casual, more easygoing, more fake chill. They say, "No worries, I'm cool with whatever," even when they're not. Not grounded, not calm, not masculine strength. Just self-abandonment wearing a confident mask. And she can feel that. She feels the disconnect between what you say and what you actually need. Her gut says he doesn't trust his own standards. And that kills respect fast. The better move is simple. Clear, calm. You say, "I'm not pressuring you. I'm being honest about what works for me. If you can't meet that, I respect it. But I won't stay in confusion." That's powerful because it doesn't beg. It doesn't attack. It doesn't collapse. It stays grounded. And when you do that, she feels the wall go up in a different way. Not a reactive wall, but the calm boundary of a man who knows his own value. 4. She keeps you close enough to use, but never close enough to rest. And here's the thing. The final sign is the one that hurts the most. She never lets you fully have her. But she never fully lets you go either. Most guys live in this gray zone for months, sometimes years. There's always just enough. Enough flirting to keep hope alive. Enough affection to keep your heart engaged. Enough future talk to make you believe something real is forming. But never enough clarity for you to relax. That's the giveaway. When a woman genuinely wants to build with you, you feel peace growing. Not perfection, not constant intensity, but stability. A grounded sense that you're both moving in the same direction. When an avoidant is using you, you feel the opposite. You feel suspended. You feel hooked. You feel like you're always one conversation away from answers that never come. She might say, "I've never felt this with anyone," then disappear when things deepen. She might say, "I'm scared because you matter," then keep you in a vague, effortless limbo that benefits her and drains you. That's not romance, man. That's emotional leasing. She rents your energy. She borrows your presence. She takes the parts of connection that feel good while keeping one foot out the door so she never has to fully risk herself. And yes, sometimes she believes her own words. That's what makes it so confusing. Her inner monologue sounds like, "I want him close, just not close enough to change my life." Or, "Don't leave me, but don't expect too much from me either." Most guys stay because they're waiting for the almost to become real. They think more patience will finally unlock the version of her they keep getting tiny glimpses of. But potential is not a relationship. Chemistry is not character. And mixed signals are not mystery. They're information. The wrong move is staying available while hoping her habits magically evolve. The right move is this: I'm not looking for almost. If you want access to me, it has to be real. That sentence does something powerful. It takes you out of the performance. It brings you back to your center. And when you do that, she feels that the arrangement is losing control over you. So what's the real lesson here? This isn't about becoming cold. It's not about hating avoidant women. It's not about turning pain into bitterness. It's about becoming a man who can tell the difference between connection and consumption. Because once you see this pattern, you stop calling confusion depth. You stop calling intermittent attention love. You stop calling self-abandonment patience. And that changes your whole life. You become calmer, sharper, more genuine, more grounded in what you accept and what you don't. These aren't tactics. This is identity. This is mindset. This is who you're becoming. A man who doesn't need to chase intensity just because it feels familiar. A man who can feel chemistry without surrendering his standards. A man whose presence is real, magnetic, and calm enough to walk away from anything that only wants pieces of him. Remember this line: if she only values you in doses, she doesn't deserve full access to you. And if this video hit you hard, the next step is learning how to detach from an avoidant without spiraling, begging, or losing yourself in silence. Because seeing the pattern is one thing, breaking it for good is where your real power begins.